3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1150. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting the subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. If you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support in helping me reach 300 subscribers at this time, as well as your presence during this reading. I really want to start this reading off by acknowledging those of you who are feeling very frustrated, or at least frustrated to some degree, about really being underestimated, not taken seriously, not treated with basic respect, all because you embrace your sensitivity. I really want you to understand how powerful you actually are, how much more powerful you actually are when you embrace your sensitivity. I want to acknowledge those of you who feel like you see things that other people don't, specifically people who frustrate you. This could be friends, family. Although I don't really consider people who disrespect me over a disagreement or being misunderstood as a friend. There just in general could be a connection here, many connections that are frustrating. Or there's just a particular type of person in this world that frustrates you, who is very arrogant, but also very foolish. And I wanted to start this reading acknowledging those of you who are dealing with this sort of frustration, because I am right there with you. Don't let anybody get into your head about what you're capable of and who you really are, all because you have boundaries and self-respect. And I'm going to leave that there. I really hope that hits somebody where it needs to. Because you deserve to protect yourself and respect yourself. Especially if you want to have relationships in your life that are also protective and respectful of you. You gotta let people know what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. And it's okay to be proud of yourself and to feel good about yourself for protecting and respecting yourself. Of course, don't let it get to your head. You don't want to become like those who frustrate you. Just utterly foolish. But whoever it is that is frustrating you, you don't need their validation. You really don't. Especially if you are aware that their perception of you is coming from a place of confusion, not a real place of clarity and knowing and honesty. But let's move on into interpreting the number 1150. Now in this number, like many other numbers before it, there are two ones, and the number 1 is about having trust and faith in yourself. And I feel like this is a particularly significant message for those of you that I acknowledged in the beginning about a specific frustration. Like I said, you don't need anyone's validation or support to know what you do and don't deserve. How you know you do and don't deserve to be treated, spoken to. There's just this, if you feel like someone's being disrespectful of you out of arrogance or any other reason, it's okay to acknowledge that and to distance yourself or put up some boundaries. And I am seeing the number 555 on the timer, which I find very interesting, because after I talk about the number 1, I'm just going to talk about the number 5, which is about change and transformation. Is there an opportunity here for you to grow that is grounded in having more trust and faith in yourself, the universe, your path, maybe another person or another situation? It's primarily about having trust and faith in yourself and potentially whatever higher power you believe in, but it could also be about anything else. Perhaps there is a change that needs to be made in a certain relationship or a certain situation. Moving on to the number 0. This number can be about recognizing patterns, recurring themes, or ideas, messages, experiences. Wherever these patterns are showing up that you may or may not be noticing, this is confirmation or guidance for you to really pay attention to these patterns and what they're trying to tell you. I also interpret the number 0 as a reminder to know when to put yourself first. And this feels like it is so relevant given what we started talking about in the beginning. It's okay to put yourself first. Even if you might have to be a little strategic with it or patient to actually be able to do that, you're not doing anything wrong by protecting and respecting yourself. I do encourage you, though, to find a healthy and helpful and constructive way to express this frustration instead of suppressing it or getting into pointless arguments, maybe even altercations, depending on how intense, what you're dealing with is. I think validating yourself can be a powerful thing. I personally like to journal and to meditate to help me express and process how I feel. So maybe one of those or both of those could be helpful for you as well. Or if not, there has to be something out there. So I encourage you to find it, because you deserve to be heard, and you don't need to be heard by those who frustrate you to feel relief or release. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 5 is 7, and of course 7 plus 0 is still 7. And this number 7 is about expanding your awareness and your consciousness and becoming wiser. Maybe there's a specific lesson or lessons to learn here. I just felt connected to the word lezioni, which means lessons in Italian. So I think past loved ones for you are acknowledging that there are lessons here for you to learn. And it feels like it is primarily about family relationships or dynamics. The number 7 is also about connecting with a higher power or the deeper meaning behind things. I personally believe that your ancestors want you to learn these lessons so you have a greater understanding and awareness and consciousness about greater problems, greater issues that go beyond your family and could be happening within your own territory, your own country, your own continent. It really just depends on how you're feeling, or how big you're thinking. It could even be across the globe. It does feel like there is something here that you're experiencing related to family that is bigger than you. And so there is something important here to learn, so you can recognize a pattern or an issue that is bigger than you, that could potentially even help you not be so hard on yourself and so judgmental towards yourself, knowing that it's not really about you, and it's more so about, the way power is distributed, or, well, we'll keep it very big like that, how power is distributed, whether it is related to people in office or not. I just saw the number 122 on the timer, which is a message about how change starts with you. What a beautiful message to come through while we're talking about family issues that are bigger than you. Maybe you are the one in your family who is meant to be a catalyst for positive change. Maybe things have been particularly difficult and frustrating for you for a reason. Maybe there is something different about you, but that definitely doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. If anything, it feels like there's something powerful about who you are that you can't, or that is difficult to see within others. I just saw the number 222 on the timer. This 222 be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation on your mind right now. It's also a confirmation or guidance for you to be very wise about your choices right now, to protect your peace, and to make sure you are prioritizing and investing in relationships and situations and just things in general that genuinely, honestly, authentically mean the most to you. This is really just a call here for you to be so real and to not really give a fuck what people think. You will find other people in other situations who really like that attitude, being yourself and not caring in the slightest about how much some people, maybe family in particular, misunderstand you. And even though you may feel isolated or misunderstood, just know that there are other people out there who are feeling the same, who have the same qualities that you do. Even if you can't see it in your family or your immediate close relationships, there are people out there who understand you and who are on the same path of, needing to learn how to not give a fuck about what people think of them. Overall, with the number 1,150 here, it feels like there is a strong call here for you to have trust and faith, primarily within yourself, secondarily in the universe or whatever higher power you believe in. But it could also be about having trust and faith in someone or something else. There's also an opportunity here for you to change and transform as a person, for a relationship or certain circumstances to change, using your own power to create these changes. And remember that it's okay to put yourself first and really pay attention to any patterns or themes you may be noticing, because it feels like this really is a powerful learning opportunity for you, and also a spiritually enlightened opportunity as well. If you want to really become more aware and more awake, pay attention, wake up, So you can see that there are lots of cards on the table. Here we have the Ancestor Spirit Oracle, a box of cards that I made and wrote on myself, and a deck of index cards here that I also made and wrote on myself. I am going to first start with drawing out one of these Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards just to see what past loved ones would like to say to you, which honestly feels very relevant because they really seem to be highlighting specific lessons here related to family. And honestly, I feel like so many people could use whatever messages are coming through in this reading because, I mean, like I said, whatever you're going through, it's bigger than you. Okay, so the card that I have is the Teach and Share card. It says instill, instruct, and educate. This really feels like it reinforces that message with the number 122 and how change starts with you. It feels like not only is there an opportunity here to learn, but also an opportunity to teach and share what you have learned. There is really something here about the kind of impact you could potentially have. So it really is worth going about whatever you're navigating with wisdom, patience, awareness. Let me go ahead and draw one of these. Oops. Before I do that, let me turn off these notifications. Apparently, I just got a notification about a tournament in London. Maybe there is somebody here who is from London or England, or there could just be a specific tournament that is significant that doesn't necessarily have to be occurring in London for you. This does give a feeling of competition, though. Are you feeling distracted? By the desire to compete, to show off, or to prove something to someone? I think we all understand that feeling. Definitely, because we would like to be perceived a certain way, but it's exactly that desire that needs to be released. The desire to be perceived a certain way. Maybe somebody here could really, really benefit with just being very accepting of being misunderstood. So you can focus less on trying to control something that you can't and more on trying to control something that you can, which is the kind of impact and influence that you can have on others and potentially family members. But as I was trying to say, I was going to say let's go ahead and draw one's index cards, but I want to get one of these cards from the box first, actually. So let's go with this one. How relevant. This one says stability and security with a couple of hearts, as well as the number 222 and the number 999. Remember, we already saw the number 222 on the timer earlier, so that's really reinforcing the idea of a certain relationship or situation being significant, as well as being very wise with your choices moving forward, being very wise with your words, and ensuring that you are protecting your peace and, what you truly value, your morals. Again, I feel called to encourage you to express yourself honestly and authentically, but also be wise too. The number 9 is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. So again, this also feels like it is reinforcing what I was talking about in terms of, whatever you're going through, especially with family being bigger than you. It feels like your ancestors, past loved ones, are very, very, very much present with you in this reading and with you on your journey. They just really, really, really don't want you to blame yourself or question your worth, because it's not about you. And I don't mean that in a way to sound offensive. It's about, like I said before, forces outside of yourself. Something bigger than you. This idea of stability and security, it reminds me of the number 4, because I see the number 4 as being connected to ancestors and stability. So if you are seeing the number 4 or 444, maybe that could be a sign from past loved ones, or related to your stability, your security, your sense of safety. Just know that if you see certain signs or messages or numbers, be aware about what you're thinking about at that exact moment, or what you're going through, and that may help you better interpret the numbers or the messages and what they're really about, because they show up for a reason at a certain time for a reason. And from experience, you're not going to understand all the signs or the numbers or the messages, at least not at first. Just pay attention. Like I said before, I also find it interesting how in this picture, it's an older man surrounded by younger people. Looks like children. So maybe there really is something here about you having a positive impact on a new generation, a younger sibling, your own children, children that you teach in a classroom. I just really get this powerful, sacred, maybe ancient kind of feeling. And maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. But let's go ahead and draw out one of these index cards here. Interesting. It says, I think you're my one. There's also another little heart there. So maybe this is specifically a reading meant for somebody who is a parent and you have a significant other that you're having trouble with. And it doesn't have to be exactly that for you. Like I said before, I feel like the messages in this reading could resonate for so many people because of how much bigger the issue feels to be. Maybe that's just extra confirmation for somebody who needed it. And as soon as I said that, I saw number 333 on the timer, which is about self-expression and communication, as well as an opportunity to heal and to grow. No matter what the situation is for you, but especially if it's like a romantic situation, use your voice. Be honest about what frustrates you, what makes you sad, what makes you happy. Oof. Maybe someone here is struggling to use their voice. And I encourage you to take a deeper look at that. This, I think you're my one. It also doesn't have to be a romantic situation for you. It could be a romantic situation like with your parents or somebody that you know and care about. But this romantic situation is only significant if it is connected to your sense of safety and stability and security. I suppose it doesn't have to be, but that's mainly what I'm feeling here. Overall, this reading has been encouraging you to have trust and faith in yourself, the universe, and whatever else feels significant for you, especially if you are feeling confused and a little bit frazzled, I guess you could say, overwhelmed. This reading has also acknowledged a potential change personally within yourself or in your reality that needs to happen. Pay attention to the signs, the messages. Maybe some of them are coming from your ancestors and past loved ones. And don't be afraid to put yourself first. Don't be afraid to use your voice and express yourself. And for some reason, I just saw in my mind's eye the number 543. And maybe that is I know it comes up in my reading sometimes as a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason, but there could be another reason, unironically. So if you are seeing signs or messages or you feel like you're picking up on something, you feel that way for a reason. You are being presented with an opportunity not only to learn, but also to teach and to share, to create positive change. And I am seeing the number 555 on the timer, which is really reinforcing and confirming the idea of you being a catalyst for positive change. Prioritize your stability, your security, whatever makes you feel safe and protected. Be wise with your choices and know that this is bigger than you. Whatever sense of purpose you are feeling driven by, trust it. If you feel called to find a sense of purpose, find it, because it is there. And for somebody in particular, there is a romantic situation here involved somehow that feels like it could teach you something, or maybe with these people, whether you're involved in this romantic situation or not, you could bring some clarity into the situation. But first, you need to bring clarity to yourself, ground yourself in trust and faith and a willingness to learn.